Okay, let's unpack a deeply passionate corner of spiritual thought. Today, we are diving into the ultimate goal of devotion, specifically the path focused on Lord Krishna and divine love.
Right. Our sources call this the highest spiritual attainment, rasa, that deep flavor of a relationship.
And we're zeroing in on Svakīya-rasa, the sweet flavor of love.
It's a fascinating inversion of what you might expect. I mean, most spiritual paths emphasize duty or awe, serving God as a master or maybe a father.
Sure.
But here, the absolute pinnacle, the supreme bliss or paramananda, is found in relating to Krishna as a lover or husband. That's the param prapti, the ultimate achievement.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because even within that romantic love, there's this fundamental split, a core conflict.
That's the one, the tension between two completely different modes of devotion.
The love that follows the law and the love that just completely defies it.
That's the central conflict between Svakīya-bhāva and Parakīya-bhāva. And we're exploring why one of these, the much more controversial one, the one that involves abandoning all social propriety, is considered the highest, the most potent path.
So our mission today is to clarify what these two paths actually mean, understand why the distinction matters so much, and then, look at the historical moment where this whole thing just exploded into a real-world, high-stakes court battle.
Let's start with that foundation then, the Svakīya-rasa. The theologian Rupa Goswami really formalized this, defining this ultimate love as having two main categories.
And the first one is the one that seems safest, right? Svakīya-bhāva. This is the lawful wedded relationship.
Precisely. Svakīya-bhāva is where the heroine, the Nayika, is Krishna's legally wedded wife. It's all about adhering to social and Vedic law.
So we're talking about queens like Rukmini, Satyabhama, the 16,108 queens in Dwarka, the partners who had all the proper ceremonies.
Exactly, and that brings a certain set of characteristics. The sources list a few key emotional markers. First, there's a full sense of right. Adhikar bhava pritiya.
She has a right to be there.
She does. Second, there's complete adherence to propriety, or maryada. And third, there's patnigarva, the pride of being the wife.
Okay, so the love is deep, but it's defined by stability, stillness.
Right, it's star and santa. It's reliable, like a deep, calm ocean.
That stability sounds beautiful, but I have to ask, for a relationship that's meant to be the ultimate spiritual achievement, isn't stability almost boring?
Well, you've just hit on it.
I mean, if the goal is absolute ecstatic bliss, how does being calm and lawful get you there?
That skepticism is the perfect bridge to the second path, Parakīya-bhāva. The whole point of this deep dive is that the stability in Svakīya is actually seen as its theological limitation.
Okay, so tell us about Parakīya-bhāva, the unwedded paramour love. This is the one that's bound to make people nervous.
It is. It's the concept of love that operates entirely outside of social or legal boundaries. Here, the Nayika is, socially speaking, the wife of another man.
Parparoki Patni.
Yes. But spiritually, eternally, she's recognized as Krishna's true, non-stop beloved, the Anadi Nitya Priyasi.
And the ultimate examples here are Srimati Radharani and all the gopis in Goloka Vrindavan. The sources give this incredible analogy to help you understand their mindset.
It really does bring it to life. It describes a woman whose entire focus is on her paramour, Krishna.
So she's going about her day, doing her chores.
She looks totally normal to the outside world, but her mind is constantly elsewhere. She holds zero love for her actual husband. He's just there.
Like a blade of grass, the source says.
Or even a serpent. Her mind's private corner is perpetually immersed in thinking about her true beloved, and that's what gives her Paramananda supreme bliss.
So the characteristics of Parakīya are the complete inverse of lawful love. The sense of right or authority is zero, shunya.
Total abandonment of social propriety, Maryada Tag.
And instead of stability, the love is defined by this constant newness, this thrill of the forbidden, navununamisha.
And that contrast is the entire argument for why it's supreme.
Let's unpack that, because the Gaudiya school doesn't just treat Parakīya-rasa as another option. They call it paramotama, the most supreme, the most secret.
And the very root essence, the mula rasa of the spiritual world.
So what's the logic? Why is it better?
The key is intensity. Rupa Goswami puts it perfectly. In wedded love, Svakīya, there is stability, stiritum, but in paramour love, Parakīya, there's constant newness, navununamesha.
Wait, so the fact that it's unstable, difficult, and forbidden is actually what makes it supreme. That seems so counterintuitive.
It's counterintuitive to our, human legalistic way of thinking, but not to the spiritual reality being described here.
Okay.
While Svakīya love is deep, it's also calm. Parakīya-bhāva, by necessity, has to overcome so many obstacles, social, familial, you name it, that the love is amplified 1,000 times over. It turns mere feeling into all us.
Which is?
Pure exaltation, joy. It gives the relationship a new color, a new enthusiasm in every single moment.
So the risk is the reward.
Absolutely. The risk creates the intensity. And this intensity is tied to the very identity of Radha herself. The sources are clear. Radha is Krishna's Hladini Shakti.
His bliss power.
His internal bliss power. Krishna's true sweetness, his madhurya, is only fully revealed when Radha's love is present. Without this unique, intense, unconventional love, Krishna is incomplete. He needs this Parakīya-bhāva to be who he is.
That raises the theological stakes immensely. It's not just about a devotee's choice, it's about the nature of God.
Right. And to defend this, the theologian Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur laid out 11 reasons why Parakīya is superior. They all revolve around this idea that challenge fuels devotion.
Okay, let's group them. What's the first major theme?
The first is all about longing and authority. Because the gopis have anatikara, a lack of authority.
No legal claim to Krishna.
They have to rely completely on his mercy. This creates a continuous, aching longing, or utkanha, and that constant state of desiring the beloved rather than possessing them is a much higher spiritual state.
Okay, and the next one. The risk related to social sacrifice.
That centers on lukaninda, the fear of public scandal, and maryada tag, abandoning propriety.
If anyone finds out, the consequences are devastating.
Exactly. This fear makes the love intensely private, and it requires total devotion because the gopi has already sacrificed her public identity. You see this so clearly during the rasa dance.
When they hear Krishna's flute.
Yes. They immediately drop everything, their chores, their homes, their reputations, and just run to him. That total instant sacrifice is the absolute height of commitment.
And the last theme. The challenges that create anticipation.
This is where the physical obstacles come in. The Vina Badan, people like the interfering mother-in-law, Jaila.
Ah, Jaila and Krila.
They aren't just characters, they're catalysts. They make the secret meetings incredibly difficult, which just intensifies the anticipation.
And that connects to the fear of separation, the Viyogapaya.
Exactly, the fear of being caught, of being separated. The source says it multiplies the joy of meeting 1,000-fold. It just raises the whole temperature of the rasa.
So stability is predictable, but intensity, fueled by obstacles and sacrifice, is infinitely renewable.
And the ultimate argument is that this love, Parakīya-bhāva, is the Guchka Mula Rasa, the original essence of the spiritual world, where marriage bonds don't exist. Only this form of intense, non-possessive love.
Wow. But this wasn't just some abstract theology. This discussion caused a massive real-world crisis that challenged the entire Gaudiya tradition. We have to talk about the Jaipur debate.
We do. This is when scholars from the rival Ramanuja Sampradaya challenged the Gaudiya community on this exact issue, and the challenge centered on the temple altar itself.
They pointed out that Radha had no formal Vedic marriage to Krishna.
Right, no Vedic viva. And because of that, they argued she couldn't take the place of a wedded wife, which is on Krishna's left side.
And the argument escalated.
It escalated quickly. The challengers used social morality as their weapon. They said that keeping a parshtra, another man's wife, beside Krishna would negatively influence society.
Basically, that it would give people divine permission to cheat.
That was the accusation. They argued the spiritual principle was dangerous to public order. They were saying the entire Gaudiya tradition was ethically corrupting.
That is a powerful accusation.
Yeah.
And what happened?
The consequence was immediate and staggering. The court ordered Radha's deity to be removed from the temples in Jaipur.
Wow.
Including the famous Govinda Dev temple. She was taken temporarily to the Galta mountain. It was a profound institutional crisis.
So who stepped up to defend the tradition?
That was Baladeva Vidibhushana. He was sent to the royal court, the Raj Sabha, to defend not just Radha's placement, but the entire philosophical basis of the tradition.
And when he got there, they immediately dismissed him, didn't they? They pulled a sort of administrative trick.
Exactly. The scholars refused to even begin the debate. They claimed the Gaudiya Sampradaya was illegitimate because it lacked a foundational commentary, a bhashya, on the Vedanta Sutras.
Which is this massive scholarly work that grounds an entire lineage.
Right. They basically said, unless you can prove your authenticity with a bhashya, we won't even listen to you.
That's putting the entire existence of their school on the line. and demanding a work that usually takes great teachers years, even decades, to write.
And the court gave him 7 days.
7 days. The pressure must have been immense.
It was. He went directly to the temple of Govindadev and prayed, asking Krishna to personally dictate the text if he wanted Radharani's honor restored.
And then the miracle.
The moment he finished his prayer, a broken garland fell from Govindadev's neck onto Baladeva. It was seen as this physical sign from Krishna saying, I will write this through you.
An unbelievable story. And he did it. He completed the Govinda Bhashya in exactly 7 days.
He did. He returned to the court with this new foundational text and challenged every scholar there, experts in grammar, logic, philosophy, and defeated them all.
So what was the core argument that finally won? How did he justify Radha's placement and the supremacy of Parakīya?
His winning argument bypassed the social question completely. He focused on the spiritual nature of reality. He proved that Radha is Krishna's Hladini Shakti, his supreme bliss power.
So her position is inherent. It doesn't depend on human law.
Exactly. Marriage is therefore irrelevant. He argued that since the soul, the jiva, is eternally connected only to Krishna, any woman can spiritually regard Krishna as her husband and lover without a formal marriage. The spiritual connection overrides the legal one. Parakīya-rasa was established as the highest path.
A complete victory for internal spiritual longing over external social rules. And the outcome was magnificent.
It really was. Radha was immediately reinstalled with full state honors, new chariots, elephants, ceremonial processions. It was a complete validation of the Gaudiya view. And Baladeva was given the title Gaudiya Vedantacharya Vigabhana.
This deep dive has shown us that the path to ultimate spiritual ecstasy in this tradition isn't through following the rules, but by embracing the challenge of defying them for a higher love. We started with 2 ideas of love, one based on the stability of law, Svakīya,
and one based on the intensity and sacrifice needed to abandon all social norms, Parakīya.
And we learned why the love that's amplified by obstacles and longing is considered the superior path.
Which means, for the devoted, the highest goal, the Param Sadhya, isn't to be Krishna's wedded wife. It's to achieve Radha Dasya, or Manjari Bhava.
Which means serving Radha as her maidservant, her Kikari.
And in doing so, participating in her supreme, intense Parakīya relationship with Krishna. You're serving the intensity itself, the bliss power.
The source offers a beautiful final image for this. It says, the love of Svakīya is an ocean. The love of Parakīya is the innumerable waves rising from it.
And the union of Radha and Shyam is the highest, most joyful crest of those waves.
That theological framework really suggests that sometimes the true essence of reality, even divine reality, lies outside the boundaries of human law and convention.
And that brings up an important question for you, the listener. If the stable, conventional path is like the vast ocean itself, what aspects of your own life, your goals, or maybe even your relationships might be amplified and become infinitely more joyful by accepting the intense, challenging, and unconventional path over the stable one? Something to ponder as you reflect on this deep dive.